again, everyone. I'm Jake Harris, and we're here with the Week 3 Coaches Show. We have Pisgah versus Plainview this week. I'm here with head coach Dale Pruitt. Coach, thanks again for having us back.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Well, Coach, I'm going to jump right into it. Now, you have Pisgah coming up this week. Now, Pisgah was actually your first head coaching job. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was my first head job, and Coach Pete actually was the first quarterback I ever had. And so he played quarterback the first year I was there, played wingback the next year in free safety, or strong safety. But, that's been a long time ago. There's not a lot of people around that probably saw the first game that we had when I was at Pisgah. But it's always nice to go back to Pisgah. I have a lot of friends up there. They treated me very good when I was there, and I really enjoyed my 2 years that I spent at Pisgah. So, we're going to go back up there again Friday night, see what happens, and they're very, very much improved. So we've got our hands full, and we've got to play much better football to have an opportunity to win.
Now, you said that he was your first quarterback as you were a head coach, and now he's a coach over there. So does that make it a challenge for you going back over there? Does that bring any emotional ties to go over there?
Well, Coach and I have coached against each other when he was in North Jackson. I've been back to Pisgah several times over the years, and it's the next ball game is the reason you want to win. Nothing any different really. You always want to win the next one. It's a region game, and right now, it's very important to host a state game if possible. And if we win the rest of them, we would finish no worse than runner-up, and we would host. So that's the thing. That's one of the goals we always set out every year, is to host the first round of the playoffs. And so, right now they've won one more in the region than we have. So we got to win this one to be even. And that's the big driving force, is to win to get you in a better situation as far as playoffs and making the playoffs and that kind of stuff. Got a lot of respect for Sean, got a lot of respect for his coaching staff, and they've got the kids playing well, and they're going to represent Pisgah very well.
Well, one thing I kind of want to talk about is the record between Pisgah and Plainview. Now, I was 3 or 4 the last time Pisgah won this matchup. It was in 1988, and since then, Plainview has went 19-0. Now, I'm sure you knew the stats before I even told you, but how does your team feel about that? Are they kind of in the dark about it? Because none of these kids were alive the last time Pisgah beat Plainview. Does that add any kind of added pressure?
I don't think that's I didn't know exactly the number, and all of that really doesn't matter. It's the next one. These kids, like you said, we hadn't played all those years, every single year. Some of the times they've not played when Pisgah was 2A or whatever. It's the next game. They know we got to win to do what we want to as far as this season, and so that's the driving force.
Well, let me ask you this, Coach. Now, first week you kind of had I'd say cruise control over Crossville. Had a big win there. Then you come out to Geraldine and a little lackluster performance all the way around, maybe some offensive line issues. Have you made some big adjustments this week versus what you did going into Geraldine?
Well, we've made some adjustments offensively and defensively. It's always a working process, and we hope we've got some things fixed. You don't have a lot of time if you don't have things fixed to get it fixed. You always have people that's banged up and beat up, and some of that. We got some that's banged up and some that's getting over being banged up, and so, what you got to do is it boils back down to blocking and tackling, and that's what last week that's what happened last week, and you got to come back after a game like last week and challenge your kids. And if they answer the challenge, then things gonna get better. If they don't answer the challenge, then things aren't. And if they don't answer the challenge, then it don't matter, because it don't mean enough. If it means enough, you'll be better. You'll have a better effort anyway.
Well, now the big word on the street is, now I've yet to see Pisgah play, but the word out is that Pisgah they run a spread offense, and they're going to air the ball out 30, maybe 40 times a ball game. Now, Geraldine, not typically known as a passing team, they only threw 3 to 4 passes last week. How is the secondary equipped to handle playing against the spread?
Well, they may throw it 30 to 40 times, but they throw a ton of screens. And basically, screens are extended running plays. If you throw the ball out to a guy on one screen 20 yards from you, but he's still on behind the line of scrimmage, that's basically an extended handoff. And it's a good philosophy. That's what they did when the offensive coordinator was at Fort Payne and North Jackson. But what it does, it gets kids out in space. It lets their athletes make plays. And so it makes us have to be a little more disciplined about pass rush and that kind of stuff, because they will take advantage of you just running up the field. You got to have pass rush. You can't sit back there, but you got to stay in your lanes, and you got to make sure that the screen is taken care of, and that you don't give them easy plays.
Now, a big thing that we noticed from the booth last week was, I don't want to bring the crowd into it, but the crowd had a very bad body language going in, and it seemed like it reflected on the players. I know you probably try to tell them to avoid the crowd, how they react, but the body language just seemed to be down and out. Is your team really clicking together on and off the field, do you feel like? Is there any kind of issue there? I
don't think so. It didn't help that we turned it over the first play of the game, more or less. We did that against them last year. I think all crowds, if things are going well, they will support you. They will get behind you and that kind of stuff. And we really didn't do anything to get the crowd behind us. From the time we turned it over, they went 4-6. They had one long pass, but the rest of them were running plays pretty much, and they went and stuck it in, and we didn't really counter that. And that's what we got to do this week.
Now, the big look going in was Geraldine and Plainview were going to be the two big teams in the region. With you guys already having a loss inside the region, does that add any more pressure to you going into other region games?
Well, sure. If you want to host the region game, you're going to have to win. Probably have to win out, unless somebody, because if somebody beats Geraldine, they still going to have the head-to-head with us, So, the only way would be if it's a three-way spin around as far as people on one tie, then that goes to other tiebreakers. But the thing we can't spend time worrying about stuff that we can't have any control over. The only thing we can have control over is us, and by us being successful and winning, then we can help our cause. And as long as we win from here on out, we can still host the playoff game. If not, then you start trying to get help from other teams, and that's not where you want to be.
Well, one player we noticed a lot last week, pacing up and down the sidelines, you could tell he was itching to get in there, was Payne Anderson. Now, a lot of people were thinking maybe second half, maybe we'd see him in the second half, and I'm not trying to pry any information out of you here, but any chance that we see him this week against Pisgah?
Sure, you will see him this week against Pisgah. Payne was cleared Friday, okay? Actually, they cleared him Friday, but Payne had not done anything in 3 weeks because he was not cleared except for rehab. So this week he's had a week of practice. He's had a good week of practice. He's still not 100%. You just don't take 3 weeks off and come back in one day without any kind of work. I mean, we took him out, and and if it had been a 21-20 ball game and we on the last drive, he might have saw some action. We might have let him carry the ball or whatever to help us win. But if you're down 1 score, then you're down 2 scores, and you're struggling a little bit, it's not really fair to the kid. He's been injured, and it's not fair to all the others who's been working all this time. So, we brought him back this week, and he's got work all week, and he's responded pretty well, and I think he will play some this week.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing him back on the field. But it's Jake Harris here with Coach Dale Pruitt, coach of the Plainview Bears, 0-1 in the region right now, looking to settle the score and get back on top of the region with Pisgah coming up Friday. We'll be airing that game on southerntorch.com at 6:45. Thanks for joining us. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.